Assalamu alaikum students. Now we are going to start Unit 3 of Oxford Progressive English Class 5. Open your books at page 14. The topic is the show. At the top you can see the question, but I will give you answer at the end of the reading. Now I'm going to read the text. It is dialogue and conversation between mother and Imran. Mother, Mommy, what have you bought, Imran? Imran, I have just bought a new joystick for my computer. Look. Mommy, hang on. Hang on means to wait. Hang on a moment. The box is torn. Have you noticed? Imran, oh no, I think it is damaged. Damaged means defective. Mommy, why don't you see it? Why don't you see if it works? Imran, I can't move the joystick. Mommy, did you try it in the shop? Imran, no, not this one, but another like it. I can hardly move this one. Look, it is damaged and the bottom corner is bent. I have just spent the last of my birthday money and now it is all gone. Mommy, don't worry. Have you got the receipt? Imran, I think so, Mommy. It wasn't labeled damaged goods in the shop, was it? Imran, not. It was only labeled reduced. Mommy, I expect means to believe. I expect it was damaged in the factory and then it was packed. If I were you, I would take it back to the shop. They will exchange it or give you your money back. Really? Mommy, of course. They have to do that. I will come with you if you like. Imran, will you? That would be great. So conversation tells that Imran has bought joystick for the computer and it was damaged. When he came home, he came to know that it wasn't working. The mother said that if he has checked it in the shop, Imran says that he has checked another one, but it wasn't the same, and it was also damaged at the corner. And the mother says that perhaps it was damaged in the factory and then it was packed. And she says that if she would have been at the place of the boy, she would definitely go to the shop, so she will get the another one. And she says that if the boy wants her to be with him, she would definitely go to the shop and get him a new one. Okay, next page. Here we have got some pictures. You have to describe them, like the first one, the bike has a flat tire. In the next one, we can say, it is also mentioned, third one, we can say that someone has broken my window. And the next one, I have torn my shirt. And the fifth one, we have got some chipped CDs. So in this way you can describe the pictures in your own sentences. And next one, question 3, the quiz and circle your answers. If you have found a large spider in the bathroom, would you? Here we are given some choices. You have to tell, if you ever find a spider in the bathroom, what would you like to do? Try to catch or kill it or scream? It is your choice, whatever you say. I have circled the second one. Similarly, if you had a school book with answers written on it, would you, if you got a school book which has answers, but you would like to ignore the answers, copy the answers, or tell your teacher? I have circled the third one. Similarly, you can do the rest of the exercise. It is just a quiz. Move on to next page. Okay, it is third one. Lesson 3, the show. Again, we have question at the top, but at the end of the lesson, I will definitely give you the answers of all 3 questions. We're going to start with the text. William and his best friend Henry, who was 12, were members of the Society of Outlaws. Outlaws means criminals. A school boy gang. Gang is a group of the people. The outlaws used to meet in the old barn and on half holidays or Sunday afternoons and make plans. Barn means a place which is used for stocking grains. Let us buy some bows and arrows, suggested William. Then we can go out and shoot things like birds and chickens, just like here, outlaws. Where are we going to get these bows and arrows? Asked Henry. We haven't got enough money to buy them. They are too expensive. Expensive means costly for us. Then we need to collect some more money, said William, who usually had right ideas. Wait, I know. We could do a show, get some animals and charge our friends money for looking at them, like at the zoo. The others nodded. Nodded means moving the head. Well then, he continued, we'll have a show and get enough money to buy bows and arrows. We will arrange a show for the next Sunday afternoon. It is a story of the boys, Henry and the William. They had a group of friends. They were actually anxious to buy bows and arrows, so they can easily shoot the birds, but they don't have money. So they got an idea that how to collect the money. They thought that they will arrange a show, and in this way they can collect the money from their friends by showing them the animals. Well, William returned home for tea with his parents and Aunt Emily. Aunt Emily was a tall lady who had been recovering from a slight cold for about 2 years. She spent her days eating and sleeping. She had not yet mentioned a date for her leaving, which made William's father anxious. Anxious means worried. It will be a long, long time before I better, said Aunt Emily as she took a 7th piece of bread and butter and another piece of cake. Please, William. Then I go upstairs and have a rest. Every Sunday afternoon, William's mother visited a friend and his father took a long afternoon nap. Nap means short sleep. When Sunday came, William quietly asked his mother whether he could have a few friends in his room for the afternoon. She agreed. The outlaws had prepared all the exhibits. Exhibits means the objects of display for the show, and by 2:30 all was ready. For each exhibit, William had written a card with all the facts upon it. Now they have decided to have a kind of exhibition on Sunday afternoon because on Sundays mother will not be at home and the father will having a nap. And what they were going to show, there was a large white rat painted in blue and pink stripes, and there was a cat shut in a cat basket, which it was scratching angrily with its claws. There was a tall giant, one outlaw on the back of another, their large combined body wrapped in a large sheet. There was a black fox fur, which had belonged to William's grandmother. It was laid on the floor as though it was asleep. There was Henry's small pet dog. Henry had painted it blue. William was the showman. He had dressed in red dressing gown of his father and had made himself a small red moustache from the edges of an old rug. Rug means carpet. The children climbed on to the garden wall. Crawling means moving on the hands and knees. Crawled along it, climbed through the window of William's bedroom and paid their entrance fees. So this was the way. So they decided to enter the room where all the exhibits were present. When they were all seated, William proudly presented the exhibits one by one. This is the only blue and pink rat in the whole wide world. It lives in China and was brought over especially for the show. And this is the wild cat, holding up the basket with the cat in it, which was hissing and spitting. Look at this wild cat, the fiercest cat in the whole country. After William had introduced all the exhibits, a large deep roar means loud sound, started coming from the next room. It sounded like a mighty wind with some low deep thunder. Aunt Emily was having her afternoon sleep and was snoring. Snoring means breath sound when you are sleeping. As the audience seemed very interested in Aunt Emily's snoring, William had another bright idea. If they are listening, they should be paying. But why just listen? Maybe they could pay extra in order to visit the snorer next door. So it came into the mind of William that as the boys were showing interest in the snoring of the Aunt Emily, then he thought that he must get some money from the exhibition of Aunt Emily's things. William went quietly into the Aunt Emily's bedroom. On the bedside table, he saw her comb, a hairpiece that she usually tied in her own hair, and a glass containing her false teeth. William came back and quickly wrote notices for these objects. The wild woman's hairpiece and the wild woman's teeth. He wrote another notice for Aunt Emily too. The snorer immediately became the most popular exhibit of the afternoon. Children came out of the room and rejoined the back of the queue, paying extra money for the money to revisit the snorer. Suddenly, in the middle of all this, Aunt Emily awoke with a start. So in this way, he decided to get more money by showing the belongings of Aunt Emily. And during when all the show was going on, Aunt Emily woke up. And what happened? We will read in the next part of the story, but we will come to the second question. Now we will do question 2. So prepare your copies like this. You have to mention date, the unit number, lesson number, and the page number 17. Correct the false statements with information from the text. Number 1 statement is William wanted to collect money so that they could go to the zoo. The correct form is William wanted to collect money so that they could buy some bows and arrows. Aunt Emily, second one, Aunt Emily had been very ill 2 years ago. Aunt Emily had been recovering from a slight cold for about 2 years. Third and fourth statement is correct. We are doing the fifth one. The children came for the show and knocked on the front door of William's house. The correct statement is the children came for the show and climbed on the garden wall, crawled along it, and climbed through window of William's bedroom. Sixth one, William wrote the notices for Aunt Emily's after the show has started. William wrote the notices for the objects of Aunt Emily after the show has started. Now move to question 3. Complete the sentences with words or phrases from the text. We have to fill up the blanks with the words which we have read in the text. A group of the school boys who play together is called a gang. You can shoot wild animals if you have a bow and some arrows. When you make somebody pay for a camel ride, you charge that person some money. Fourth one, the opposite of bad cold is a slight cold. A short sleep during the daytime is called a nap. If you pay to go into the museum, you pay an exhibition fee. If a cat is angry, it scratches you on the hand. A person who is snoring makes a loud noise while asleep. And the ninth one, people who don't have their own teeth put false teeth in their mouth instead. Okay, now turn the page. Come to page 19. We have to read the second part of the story. Okay. When Aunt Emily woke up, she thought at first that the group of small boys around her was a dream. Thus she sat up and see the things on the beside table, the notices, and finally William, dressed as the showman. She sprang out of the bed and seized William. Seized means to take hold of. Sprang out means to jump out. William by the shoulders. You wicked boy. Wicked means bad, she cried as she shook him. William escaped and ran into the next room. It was empty except for Henry. The last of the audience had escaped and were crawling along the top of the garden wall. William said to Henry, she has just woken up and she is furious. Furious means angry. Now in this paragraph we have read that Aunt Emily has woke up and she was quite angry. She was very unhappy with the boys because they were showing her as an object, and Aunt Emily was moving noisily around in her room. Let's count the money, said Henry. They counted £4.50. That's pretty good, said William. Without Aunt Emily, we were only going to make about £2 so far. The boys were actually very happy that they have earned a lot of money just because of Aunt Emily. Suddenly, Aunt Emily's door opened and the boys could hear her heavy steps coming down the stairs. William shivered. Shiver means tremble. What would his father say? William's mother had returned from her visit as Aunt Emily, wearing her coat and hat and carrying her bag, arrived at the bottom of the stairs. William's father had just woken up from his nap and had come into the hall. Aunt Emily stared at him. Stared means looking closely. Please ring for the taxi or ring for the taxi at once. I refuse to remain in this house a moment longer. She then told William's parents how she had been on show. Mother said sorry and the father went to phone for the taxi. When Aunt Emily showed about the behavior of the boy, mother said sorry and the father went for calling the taxi. A crowd of dirty little boys and those notices, and me in the poor state of health too. If this had not happened, I might have stayed with you all the winter and perhaps part of the spring. Father wiped his forehead. Mother said sorry again, and Aunt Emily went off in her taxi. William father shouted up the stairs. William went downstairs, still in the dressing gown with half a mustache on his face. Is it true what your aunt said? William looked into his eyes and suddenly became hopeful. Father was not a good actor. Yes, he said. That was very wrong, said father. That's all. Something small and hard was put in William's hand as he started to run back upstairs. That didn't take long, said Henry, surprised when William entered the bedroom. William opened his hand and showed Henry what his father had put into his hand. Look, it was a shining £1 coin. So in this way, Aunt Emily left their home. Actually, at the end, William got one more pound because apparently father was showing unhappiness that William has not done good to Aunt Emily, but from the deep heart he was happy because he also wanted to get rid of Aunt Emily. So the lesson is done. Now I will give you answers of the question. Again, come to page 14. At the top, a question was given. What did Imran buy and what is he going to do with it? You have to prepare the page first like this. You have to mention date, unit number, lesson number, and then also mention the page. And the question is, what did Imran buy and what is he going to do with it? The answer is, Imran bought a joystick for his computer. It was damaged. He is going to exchange it for a good one. Okay, move to next page. There at page number 16, we have got two questions. How did William and his friends plan to collect money? Again, I have prepared the page and you have to mention the page number as well. And the question is, how did William and his friend plan to collect money? William and his friends planned to collect money through a show. And the second part of the question, were they successful? Yes. Were they successful? The answer is, they were successful in it. Then again, I'm giving you the questions which are present on the top of page 19. What happened when Aunt Emily woke up? The answer is, she complained to William's parents. She called for a taxi and went off. And the next one, do you think William's father was angry with him? Why and why not? We have to tell whether he was angry or not. And why? Apparently, William's father was angry with him, but at heart, he was happy to get rid of Aunt Emily. Okay, students, the lesson is done. Thank you.